Hi everybody, it's December 3rd, 2025. Um, I've noticed that the brightest days that come in adult life, the ones that peak above the clouds, I guess you could say, are the ones that come unexpectedly. And I believe that this is for a number of things. It isn't just about your time coming, it's more about the way that our being interprets the energy that we are living through or living inside of. It is determined by uh, the freeness, the freedom that you currently have in your mind. I don't think normally you could willfully make any day a good day, and it comes naturally. And this is just the way that life cycles, I believe. So when you have good days, it's good to remember that how small complaints of your past seem, how small any poverty that you go through, how small it is compared to when things could get good. And when things are good, it just may be, your emotional state. It may be a freedom you have with your time. It may be the joy of creating and creativity. So when the good days break through and they peek through the common mundane stream of your life, you can't save it necessarily, but it's good to remember just how quick things could change. And realizing how quick things can change humbles you, because it will stop you from boasting too much. It will stop you from treating others wrongly if you really learn your lesson. And it will humble you when your anger wants to take the cake, when your anger wants to retaliate and just harm whoever you see as your antagonist. And so this gets me thinking about callings. I stayed a child in the mind and in my heart all the way into my adult years. And not all the way through the adult years, but into my adult years, I was still a child in heart and mind. And it was tougher for me because I was a child going through things that adults had to deal with. And it was like being on the football field, like your first game on the full contact football field, when you get hit and things are moving so fast and things hit so hard and there's no mercy, there's no putting the kid mittens on you. It's fast and it's brutal and it's intense. So when you are not ready for life in this sense, it can seem like a very dark place to be. And so I say all that to say is that the onset of depression came, and I found that the callings that I was getting from my instinctual mind was to give into the depression, dive into the depression, dive into chain smoking cigarettes to distract you. And I was also taking medication that made me hungry. So it was like, just eat what you want to eat. It doesn't matter anymore. So these callings, these dark callings, overwhelm some people, and they give in, not realizing there are consequences, even though what initiated your acceptance of these dark callings, even though you felt like they were unfair and they were too hard on you, by answering the calling and diving into those indulgences and those addictions and bad behaviors, you double the heaping coals that you put on you. And to get out of this is not to indulge or not to answer these callings for self-harm in the first place. But if you find yourself, after you have dove in and committed these habits against yourself, climbing out could be a very informative experience. So when you climb out of these holes you dug for yourself, the best way to do to alleviate these addictions and alleviate these bad behaviors is to be self-aware. And I know I say that a lot, but somebody that's not self-aware often talks to people in a certain way and betrays people in a certain way because they can't see what they are doing. They are just acting. They believe that everything's normal and they're on a track and this is how you live life. They're not aware of how they sound to other people. They're not aware of what they actually say to other people. They don't know their tone of voice when they talk to people. So being self-aware is the best way to pull yourself out of addictions and behaviors that are just going to cause collisions in your life. And so when we talk about callings, on the positive end, the calling to heal yourself, the calling to be there for somebody that doesn't have anybody else, those are the type of callings that translate into growth. They translate into accumulating power. Because from my experience, the calling to be the one for somebody else is it's almost like being a king. And it's not being a king and being like egotistical. It's like being a king of your life when you are there, when you are the light for someone else, somebody else that doesn't have anybody else. And the king has very heavy responsibilities. You are going to want to give up when this person takes you for granted. You're going to want to give up when this person gets mad at you when you're only there to help them. You're going to want to give up when you don't have any resources to help them anymore and all you can do is give them your love. You don't have any food, no money, no shelter, nothing. You're going to want to give up many times because you are taking on their darkness and your own darkness to be the one for them. And this is a very sacred position to be in. Because when you are the one for somebody that doesn't have anybody else, you are like a governing body. You get praised for the good and you get rebuked for the bad that happens to these people. But the sacredness of your communion with God when you are the light for somebody is incredibly revealing of the beauty of this life. So if you have that calling, I would suggest don't take it lightly. I wouldn't suggest being scared away or giving up, but just don't take it lightly. Realize that the highs of love are going to be balanced out by the lows of self-doubt, by the lows of poverty. In any sense, it doesn't just mean monetary or whatever. You're gonna run out of feelings that give you motivation. You're gonna run out of energy to keep going sometimes. But if you keep on going, it's a path that leads to deep revelations. And so other callings maybe talents that you didn't know you had, or maybe wisdom that you didn't know that you wanted to learn, but something piqued your interest and you started diving in. And these passions, these creative passions, these skills, these talents are the voice for your spirit. Because many times when you are creating in certain aspects or certain avenues, what comes up is subconscious or deep spiritual terms or concepts that you couldn't give voice to before, but through the medium of what you are accepting as your calling, they reveal truths that sometimes only you can understand. That's why it's not exactly conceited to listen to your own music, because you are conversing with your soul. If you make music, if you make any other type of art, when you consume your own art, you are conversing with your soul. You are making marks on the legend of your map about how you truly feel, how you truly experience this life. So I hope this helps. Thanks.